Hey guys, it's CJ. Today I want to talk about why I think it's stupid not to pre-order a Tesla Cybertruck today. All right, let's get into it. Okay, this is the Tesla Cybertruck. This is supposed to come out, we think, the end of 2021. If you pre-order it now, you probably won't get it for maybe 3 years. So you might be thinking, what does it have to do with me? Why should I order this so I can get it 3 years from now? And why would I be stupid not to? A little backstory. So if you don't know, Tesla right now is trying to solve full self-driving, right? They're trying to solve autonomy, cars that drive themselves. And once they do this, they're going to start the Robotaxi network. So cars will drive around and they'll pick people up and they'll drop people off and they'll make a whole lot of money because there's no human doing the driving. Well, wouldn't it be nice if you owned one of those vehicles and you were getting a cut of it? Yes, it would. And you're like, okay, well, I could go buy a Tesla right now, but I don't know if this Robotaxi thing is ever going to even happen. That's why we're here. Okay, so the gist of this is, well, if you can pre-order this right now and get locked in at the price that it costs right now, and over the next 3 years, robotaxis start to happen, and you know they're a real thing, and you know you can make money on it, well, if you pre-order it now, when they go to sell it to you, you'll know you're in a profitable venture, right? It's not a risk because you already know robotaxis work. So that's why this is a no-brainer to me. So let me show you real quick. Okay, let me show you how much this costs. Okay, right off the website, you can order a rear-wheel drive for $40,000 or an all-wheel drive for $50,000. I have a model I created. We're going to go into in a minute. I use the $50,000 model because you can drive in sleet and snow and everything, and I think eventually that could make it more profitable. It would have more uses. We also have full self-driving, which is $10,000, and we're obviously going to need that. And this is all you need to pre-order it, $100. And guess what? It's fully refundable. So this whole venture is risk-free. It's $100, and if you decide you don't want to buy it, they give you your money back. Okay? All right, now let's take a look at the model. Now, first of all, let me tell you, this is not financial advice. It's literally the name of my channel. I could be a moron. None of this could play out. Also, we don't know if this is going to play out or not. That's the whole point of this exercise, is the fact that it makes it so that if it doesn't, you're not out anything. That's kind of the whole point. So, but it's still not financial advice. I'm just showing you the information. Look into it yourself and you decide. Okay, so this is what I got. So we believe that electric vehicles have much longer lifespans than internal combustion. So Elon and most people in the industry agree that these vehicles, the battery, the drivetrain, the motor, are good for a million miles. So we're going to call the lifespan of this vehicle 1 million miles. So you could drive it 100,000 miles a year. And by you, I mean it's driving itself for 10 years straight. So you would drive that 1 million miles. Okay. So in order to figure out how profitable it is, we need to figure out a few things. First of all, how often will it have a passenger in it? Okay. And we're going to take an educated guess at that. But what that means is if the vehicle drives to go pick you up and it's empty, you didn't make any revenue from that. You spent money because it costs money and energy and so forth. And then the miles where it has someone in it, right, that has revenue. So I think it's reasonable to say that 2/3 of the time it's going to have someone in it. So if it drives with someone in it and they're trying to get from here to there and it's 10 miles, okay, it seems unreasonable that, for instance, it would have to drive another 10 miles to find someone else. I think it would find someone within 5 miles, or it would be smart enough to know that, hey, if I just wait here and not use any energy, Probably in the next 5 minutes, I'll have a call and I'll know to go there. So I think 66% of the time there will be someone in it getting a ride. And I think that's a pretty low guess. I bet it's more like 80%, to be honest. But let's be conservative. So 66% of the time there's a passenger. Okay. So that's 660,000 miles over the lifetime of the vehicle. There's a passenger. And I'm going to say that we're going to charge $1 a mile. I think initially this price will be higher. It just needs to be lower than whatever Uber and Lyft charge. And it'll probably remain that way for a while. And then slowly over time, they'll drop the prices as there's more vehicles on the road. If they make it like 50 cents a mile, then the demand will be so high, there won't be enough robotaxis to go around and people will be waiting too long. So they have to sort of balance that. So I think $1, we're just going to use that as a nice round number. And so there you end up with a revenue of $660,000 for the lifetime of the vehicle. But I suspect Tesla's going to want to cut, right? So I'm going to say their cut is 30%. It might be 20%. I'm trying to be conservative. I don't think it would be more than 30%, which means you get a 70% cut of that, which is $462,000 in revenue. Okay, so that's how much money you get coming your way. Okay, so let's see how much money would be flowing out. Let's see what your liabilities are, your expenses. Okay, so we looked at the truck a minute ago, and the all-wheel drive was $50,000, and then you have $10,000 for full self-driving. So there's $60,000 in capital expenses, and then we're going to have some operating expenses like tax, title, and license. You're going to have to pay your registration every year. However, it'll vary by state. So this is, say it's $120 a year for 10 years, $1,200. These numbers really don't matter in the grand scheme, but I'm putting them in here. Tesla insurance. This I'm not even sure you'll need. So I put at $1,000 a year that you'll have to purchase insurance to ride it inside the Robotaxi network. I think actually it may be included as part of that 30%. Like, in other words, a platform fee, or it's built into the price of using the Robotaxi. But I added it just to be conservative. But this may not actually be an expense. I don't know yet. You'd have to pay for electricity. This will vary as well. I put 7 cents a mile. I believe the Model 3 is under 6 cents. And I've heard that the Cybertruck may be actually just as efficient due to some things they've done with the motors and the batteries. But I've been conservative and made it 7 cents a mile, more expensive anyway, just to be conservative. So this will vary by where you get your electricity. If you have solar panels on your roof, it'll be cheaper. If you live in somewhere like on an island, right, it might be more expensive. But this is kind of a average would probably be about 7 cents a mile in most places. So that means over the lifetime of the vehicle, your electricity costs would be about $70,000 in order to go 1,000,000 miles. And then I added maintenance costs of $25,000. This is over 10 years. So this is things like tires. Probably buy a lot of tires over 1,000,000 miles. Brakes, any kind of failure that needs to be repaired. Just maintenance and repairs, that sort of thing. Okay, so that gives you total operating expenses of $112,000 and total capital expenses of $60,000, which means the lifetime expenses on the car, I think, would be about $171,000. That includes the price of the car and the other expenses, electricity, and all those things. Okay, well, if we look at it, how do we figure out our profit? We look at that $171,000. That's really, you could think of that as your investment. That's how much money you're going to spend out of your pocket. And then the total revenue, which we figured out up here, your cut, $462,000 over 10 years. Okay, that means your total profit would be $290,000 on this vehicle. $290,000. Okay, that's $29,000 a year of mostly you sitting on the couch, right? $29,000 a year, and you're not really doing anything. So well, that's interesting, isn't it? Now, Okay, so you might be thinking, yeah, but this is a pipe dream. This isn't going to happen. Again, that's the whole point. Like, if you pre-order the Cybertruck, because you're late to the game, and this doesn't happen often. Usually in investing, the people that are early to the game win. But you're kind of late to the game, and that might be a winning strategy because that delays how long it is before your Cybertruck's even available. Your Cybertruck won't be here for 2 or 3 years. There's a good chance in 2 or 3 years, the Robotaxi network is up and running and functioning, and people already have Cybertrucks, and they're already making money. And you already know exactly how much money they're making, how they're doing it, how everything works. And then you have a locked in price on your Cybertruck, and you know you're in a money making scheme, and all you have to do is buy the truck at that point, and you've guaranteed your price, right? I assume that if the Robotaxi network is working, that $10,000 for full self-driving is long gone, and it costs way more for people that are trying to get in that didn't pre-order on these vehicles. So that's kind of what we're looking at. The other chance of profit is that because your vehicle has full self-driving, it could be that it turned into an appreciating asset. Usually when you drive off a lot, right, the car loses 20% of its value or whatever. It could be you drive it off the lot and it doubles in value. Because if this is going to bring you $300,000 in profit, even if the car costs $100,000 instead of $50,000, you'd still have almost $250,000 in profit. So someone would be willing to give you $100,000 for your vehicle in order to make $250,000, right? So I don't know if this is how it's going to play out or if Tesla's going to try to mitigate that somehow. But what I'm saying is, I think you'll know at the time, 3 years from now, if you see Tesla selling secondhand for, if you see the Cybertruck selling for $120,000, you're going to be really happy you pre-ordered it for $50,000, right? Or if you see people making a fortune in the Robotaxi network, you're going to be really happy you put down a $100 deposit, right? This is like a no-brainer. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to get through. I also wanted to show you just how this sort of works out in terms of your human time, right? So the way I think of it, if you truly have an autonomous vehicle, it leaves your garage in the morning and it just works all day and it comes home, right? And all you have to do is plug it in and vacuum it out, right? Maybe twice a week you hose it off. It's just stainless steel. Every once in a while you have to like go put tires on it or something. But I don't think this is more than like 30 minutes a day on average. 30 minutes a day of your work, right? That means you would put in 180 hours of labor a year, which would give you a profit of $159 an hour. That's how valuable your time would be. So if you're making $15 an hour, working 10 hours a day right now, the Cybertruck could mean that you're making that same amount of money in 30 minutes a day because the truck's doing all the work for you. You're just cleaning up after it. So what I'm thinking is that for $100, I don't want to not tell you, because I don't want you 3 years from now to see Cybertrucks selling secondhand for $100,000 and be like, wow, how come nobody told me that this was going to happen? They were going to go up in value. Or you see Cybertrucks dropping people off and making $300,000 over their lifetime. And you're like, man, I should have bought one of those. I didn't know this was going to be a thing. Or other business opportunities that come from this. I think Cybertrucks, because if you'll look here, see on the back how this is, this comes down. It's got a cover. It seals up. I think these could be used to transport anything from groceries to medical supplies or whatever across town. They may actually, and because they're 4-seaters, they may actually cost more than, say, a Model 3. Like if you're driving 200 miles, would you pay more in a big roomy Cybertruck or a smaller Model 3? I think you would charge more. Would you pay a lot of money if you're a hospital and need medical supplies, move from this one to this one? Would you want to pay an employee all that money and to buy a car and all this stuff? Or would you just order a Cybertruck to pick it up and drop it off, right? And someone just has a code on the other end of their phone and it unlocks it and they get the stuff out. And it's like a tenth the price. There's all sorts of use cases we don't even know about yet. The point is, we will know probably in 3 years. And all you have to do is put down $100 and pre-order. And if all these predictions turn out to be crap, then you just ask for your $100 back. No big deal. But if they turn out to be right, you're going to be so glad you pre-ordered. I've pre-ordered two. I pre-ordered one and my wife pre-ordered one. And it's just in case. It's like just think of it like a lottery ticket. Except if you don't win, you ask for your money back from the cashier. And how cool is that? All right. Well, that's all I have today. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.